Lucas Huang sat motionless in his high-rise office, his weary eyes glued to the computer screen. The coffee beside him had gone cold, but he didn't bother replacing it. Another billion-dollar deal had just closed. He should have felt satisfied, but as he absent-mindedly scrolled through social media, his hand suddenly froze. There, on his screen, was a picture, a radiant woman in an elegant silk dress standing in front of a luxurious beachfront mansion. Emma. Lucas's chest tightened. She looked more beautiful than ever, her smile untouched by the pain he once left behind. But what stole the breath from his lungs wasn't just her. It was the two children standing beside her. A boy with sharp, familiar eyes. A girl with a smile as warm as the morning sun. Lucas nearly dropped his coffee. Two children, twins. His heart pounded violently against his ribs as his trembling fingers traced the image on the screen. This couldn't be real, could it? 6 years ago. Lucas remembered the day he first met Emma, a rainy afternoon in New York. She had rushed into the cafe where he sat, her hair dripping wet, her bright eyes filled with determination. When they fell in love, they dreamed of a home filled with the laughter of children. But dreams had a way of breaking. They had tried for a baby, but each failed attempt drove another wedge between them. Emma kept smiling, assuring him, "We still have time." But Lucas saw the sadness in her eyes, the way she turned away to hide her silent tears. Then came the crisis. His company spiraled downward. Deals collapsed, stocks plummeted, meetings stretched late into the night. Emma tried to pull him out of it, but Lucas only pushed her further away. "It's going to be okay, Lucas," she whispered, gently massaging his tense shoulders. "No, it won't," he snapped. "You wouldn't understand." One late evening, Emma brought him tea, worry evident in her eyes. "Lucas, we need to talk." "Not now, Emma," he cut her off coldly, his eyes glued to the screen flashing red numbers. "Lucas," her voice wavered. What could you possibly understand about this?" He stood abruptly, exhaustion and frustration seeping into his voice. "What do you even do, besides painting useless pictures and living off your trust fund?" Emma flinched as if he had struck her. Lucas froze. He knew he had crossed a line, but instead of apologizing, he turned his back to her and kept working. A long silence followed. Then, Emma slowly placed a hand over her stomach, her eyes filled with something unsaid. The next morning, she was gone. Lucas stared at the screen, his mind spinning. Twins. Could they be his? "Linda," he rasped, pressing the intercom button. "I need everything on Emma Williams, where she lives, the company she runs, and the children." "Yes, sir." Hours later, Linda sent over a full report. Lucas opened the file, his pulse hammering against his ribs. Emma Williams, CEO and founder of Horizon Publishing, leading publisher of children's books, especially the best-selling series The Starlight Twins, about a pair of adventurous twins exploring the world together. Mother of two, Liam and Lily, born May 15th, exactly 7 months after she left. Lucas's hands slackened, his breath caught in his throat. He blinked, but the numbers didn't change. 7 months after she left. His mouth went dry. He scrolled down to the attached photographs. One showed Emma leaving a maternity clinic, her hand protectively resting on her belly, the same way she had that day when she tried to tell him something. Another captured Liam, his sharp gaze locked onto something as if calculating every angle. The exact same look Lucas saw in the mirror every day. And Lily, her gentle smile a mirror image of her mother's. Lucas gripped his phone tighter, a painful lump forming in his throat. He had abandoned them without even knowing. He thought back to the long nights spent drowning in work, believing he was protecting Emma by walking away. But while he had been consumed by saving his empire, Emma had been quietly building one of her own, a family he never knew existed. And the worst part? She never reached out. No calls, no messages, no accusations, as if he had never existed. Lucas stood motionless in his office, the city lights reflecting off the glass windows. The numbers in his bank account, the billion-dollar deals, none of it mattered anymore. He had once thought he was the one left behind when Emma walked away, But the truth was, he was the one who abandoned his family. Images of 2 children flashed in his mind. Liam with his own piercing gaze, Lily with Emma's warm smile. 6 years he had been absent from their lives. He couldn't turn back time, but he could fix this. Lucas pressed a button on his desk. "Linda." "Yes, sir?" "Make the arrangements. I'm stepping away from the company for the next 3 months." A stunned pause. "Sir, you're taking a leave?" "I'm going to find my family." Ending the call, he turned to his laptop, searching for Horizon Publishing. Emma had built it all from scratch. She hadn't touched the divorce settlement. She had thrived without him. But he wasn't here to reclaim her. He couldn't expect forgiveness. He just wanted a chance to know his children. His grip tightened when he spotted a recent article. Horizon Publishing to host a children's book reading event at Central Park this weekend. Lucas exhaled sharply. This was it. A chance to see Emma again, and more importantly, to see Liam and Lily. This time, he wouldn't walk away. The sky was clear, sunlight filtering through the leaves of Central Park. Lucas stood at a distance, watching the crowd gather around a small stage where Emma was preparing for the reading event. He couldn't take his eyes off her. She hadn't changed much in 3 years, still elegant, still poised, but there was something different. She was glowing, stronger than ever. Lucas swallowed hard, his gaze scanning the stage, and then he saw them. Liam and Lily. The boy stood beside Emma, arms crossed, his sharp eyes scanning everything around him with quiet intensity, a mirror image of himself. Lily, on the other hand, was arranging books on the table, chatting animatedly with a group of children, her smile radiant, a perfect reflection of Emma. Lucas felt his chest tighten. Just then, Lily dropped a painting. A gust of wind carried it toward the walking path. Without thinking, Lucas moved, catching it before it could be trampled. Lily looked up, her bright eyes meeting his. "Thank you, mister." Lucas froze. Mister? She had no idea who he was. "You're welcome," he murmured, carefully handing the painting back. "It's beautiful." Lily beamed. "I made it for my mom. She always says that no matter how dark the night gets, if you follow the stars, you'll always find your way home." Lucas inhaled sharply, steadying himself. "Your mom is very wise." "I know," Lily giggled, then skipped back toward the stage. But Liam didn't move. He stood there, eyes locked on Lucas, studying him in a way that made Lucas feel like he was being evaluated. "You're not supposed to talk to strangers," the boy finally said, his voice firm. Lucas nodded, a sad smile forming on his lips. "You're absolutely right." Liam observed him for another moment, then took Lily's hand and led her away. Lucas stood frozen, an ache spreading through his chest. These were his children, and yet, to them he was nothing more than a stranger. Before he could turn away, a familiar voice called out behind him. "Lucas." He turned. "Emma?" Lucas turned, his heart pounding. Emma stood there, her expression a mix of shock and guarded caution. "What are you doing here?" Her voice wasn't angry, but it wasn't welcoming either. Lucas swallowed hard. "I just wanted to see you, and..." He glanced toward Liam and Lily, who had now returned to their mother's side. "And them." Emma folded her arms. "Suddenly interested, Lucas? 6 years of silence, not a single call, and now you want to see them?" Lucas exhaled slowly, trying to keep his emotions in check. "I didn't know. I swear, Emma, I didn't know." She studied him for a moment before sighing. "Not here." She gestured for him to follow. Once they reached a quieter part of the park, Emma turned to face him. "Lucas, my life doesn't revolve around you anymore," she said evenly. "I built everything from the ground up. You don't get to walk in and turn it upside down. And I don't want to disrupt anything." Lucas looked at her earnestly. "I just want to know them, to meet them, if you'll let me." Emma was quiet, searching his face as if trying to see if he was truly sincere. Finally, she sighed. "Liam and Lily don't know who you are. I never lied to them, but I also never wanted them to feel abandoned. If you're serious, you'll have to take things slow. Earn their trust, no pressure." Lucas nodded instantly. "I understand." Emma held his gaze for a moment longer before turning away. Sunday mornings, they like getting ice cream at Starlight Scoops. If you really want to get to know them, start there. A flicker of hope ignited in Lucas's chest. This time, he wouldn't get it wrong. Lucas had never felt this nervous before, not when negotiating billion-dollar deals, not when his company teetered on the edge of collapse. But now, standing outside Starlight Scoops, about to meet his children properly for the first time. Emma had given him a chance, but that didn't mean it would be easy. He stepped inside, his heart hammering as he spotted Liam and Lily sitting beside Emma. Lily was giggling over her colorful ice cream, while Liam was absorbed in a book. For the first time, Lucas saw just how different they were. Liam was cautious, analytical, so much like him. Lily was warm, full of life, just like Emma. "Hi, kids," he said, his deep voice laced with nervousness. Lily immediately looked up, curiosity shining in her big eyes. "Who are you?" Emma took a deep breath. "Lily, Liam, this is Lucas. Your father—" Silence fell. Lily blinked, as if processing the words. Liam, however, slowly put his book down, his sharp eyes narrowing. "Father," he repeated, his voice emotionless, "where have you been for the past 3 years?" The question cut Lucas to the core. He knelt to their level, meeting Liam's gaze head-on. "I made a terrible mistake. I thought I was doing the right thing, but the truth is, I was wrong." He swallowed hard. "I don't expect you to forgive me right away. I just want a chance to get to know you." Lily tilted her head, then suddenly grinned. "Well then, Dad, like ice cream? What's your favorite flavor?" Lucas blinked, then let out a relieved chuckle. "Mint chocolate chip." Lily clapped her hands. "Same as me." Liam, though still reserved, didn't push Lucas away. Bit by bit, Lucas found his place in their lives. But he knew, truly becoming their father would take much more than just one shared ice cream. Lucas stood in front of Emma's door, his heart heavy. He had slowly built a relationship with Liam and Lily, but there was still one thing he hadn't done: apologizing to Emma. He had hurt her, not just by leaving, but by the cruel words he had once thrown at her. Words that had made her cry. Words that had made her feel worthless in his eyes. The door opened, and Emma's brows lifted in surprise. "Can I come in?" he asked quietly. She hesitated for a moment before nodding. Inside, the house was warm, full of color, completely different from his cold, minimalist penthouse. Lily's drawings covered the walls, Liam's books stacked neatly on shelves. A home built with love, with no space left for him. "What is it, Lucas?" Emma asked, folding her arms. Lucas took a deep breath. "This is long overdue." He met her gaze head on. "I'm sorry, Emma." Emma frowned, caught off guard. "Not just for leaving, but for the things I said before, that," Lucas admitted, his voice tight with emotion. "The awful words I never should have spoken. You are not useless. You were never a burden. You are the strongest person I have ever known, and I was too blind to see it." Emma was silent for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice trembled slightly. "Do you know what, Lucas? The day you said those things, I felt like I had never mattered to you. But after I left, I realized it wasn't that I didn't matter. I just mattered in the wrong place." Lucas closed his eyes, absorbing the weight of her words. "I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I need you to know that I have changed, and whether you give me another chance or not, I'm here, for Liam and Lily, and for you." Emma studied him for a long moment before giving a small nod. "We'll see how long you keep that promise." Lucas knew this wasn't forgiveness, but at least it was a start. As time passed, Lucas slowly became a part of Liam and Lily's lives. He drove them to school, helped Liam assemble his astronomy models, and read bedtime stories with Lily. Then, one day, something miraculous happened. Lily reached for his hand, looked up at him with bright, trusting eyes, and called him Dad. That moment made Lucas realize something. He didn't just want to be their father. He wanted his family back. One evening, he and Emma stood by the shore, watching the kids laugh as they played in the waves. "Emma," he said softly. She turned, her eyes warm but cautious. Lucas took a deep breath. "I know I've caused too much pain. I have no right to expect anything from you, but I need to say this." He met her gaze. "I love you, Emma, and I never stop." Emma stiffened, her heart pounding. Lucas reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box, flipping it open. Inside was a simple yet elegant ring. "I don't expect you to forget the past, but will you give me a chance to rewrite our future?" Emma's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "Lucas, But before she could answer, a voice rang out from the distance. "Dad, watch this," Liam shouted, balancing on top of a sand dune. Lucas chuckled. Emma did too. Her answer wasn't spoken yet, but Lucas knew he still had a chance. Lucas adjusted his tie, staring at his reflection in the mirror. His heart pounded, not from nerves, but from the overwhelming joy filling his chest. After all the mistakes, all the efforts to make things right, this day had finally come. "Dad." He turned to see Liam in a tiny suit, looking like a miniature version of himself. Lily stood beside him in a delicate white dress, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Are you nervous?" Liam asked, ever serious. Lucas chuckled, kneeling to their level. "A little." Lily tilted her head, smiling. "Mom said if you ever feel scared, just remember, we're all here with you." Lucas looked at them, his two guiding stars, the reason he found his way home. "I'm the luckiest man alive to have you both." He pulled them into a hug. Outside, the music began to play. Lucas stepped forward, and there, standing under the soft glow of sunset, was Emma. She was radiant, in a flowing white gown, her eyes filled with emotions too deep for words. Lucas took her hand, whispering, "I lost you once. I won't ever let that happen again." Emma smiled, squeezing his fingers. "We've been on a long journey, Lucas, but now we're finally home." And as they exchanged vows under a sky full of stars, Lucas knew this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning.